I mean, speaking of LeBron James, let's discuss what he did tonight. Rough first half for him, Brian. LeBron had 4 fouls in the first half. First time that's ever took place for him, regular season or playoffs. Do you think LeBron could be dealing with some fatigue? He did get a lot of rest, though, at the rounds 1 and 2.
No way. This isn't fatigue based. I think LeBron got a little nervous, a little tense, had a bad game the other night, came out a little tight tonight. Timmy and I talked about it earlier, where he's just trying to do too much, overly aggressive physically, got himself in foul trouble. We know this. LeBron stayed in the game with 3 fouls because LeBron wanted to stay in the game with 3 fouls. It wasn't a Ty Lue decision. It was a LeBron James decision. He ends up getting his 4th, but you know what? He came out in the second half and he played great basketball. He had an excellent 4th quarter. LeBron, listen, despite that missed dunk, LeBron is still the best player in the NBA right now. He's still the guy that can carry this team on his back to a title. And yeah, he's going to have a hiccup here and there. Everybody's entitled to. But even a night like tonight where he had a rough start, push comes to shove in the 4th quarter when his team needs him, he rallies and he's right there. And he ends up with, I mean, the numbers are there, but more important than the numbers, it was a win. It was a double-digit win. And when they needed James to close that game, James was right there to close that game. He's still the best closer in the game, in spite of what anybody has to say about him. One of the 5 best players to ever play the game. He's not fading at all. He's not getting tired at all. He's had so much rest. He's about to have, if they can win Thursday, another 6 days of rest before he plays the finals. Fatigue is not what this is all about. It may be a little bit going on between LeBron's ears here in terms of him thinking a little too much about his legacy and not enough about the task at hand. With that said, I'm not worried about him one bit. To me, LeBron James right now is as good as he's ever been.
Yeah, LeBron rested in the regular season, not to mention all the time off after rounds 1 and 2. A lot of people are dissecting those 4 fouls that LeBron was called for in the first half. All of them look to be, pretty legit. Maybe there was one on the closeout when I think he hit Marcus Smart in the face that you could debate. But what was your take on the officiating tonight?
I don't think the game was well officiated at all. I think there was a lot of give-back calls, as the announcers mentioned during the game. I thought you had a couple calls that were absolutely silly. There was one on Kyle Korver late I didn't love. But out of all the bad calls that I saw in the game, I didn't think any of LeBron's 4 fouls in the first half were any of them. I thought they were all legitimate calls. I didn't love the officiating tonight, but I thought it was weak on both sides. I thought it was generally inconsistent. With that said, again, I think James earned all 4. So you'd like to see better refereed games in these kinds of spots. But if it's going to be bad, let it be consistently bad on both sides. Doesn't favor one side or the other. It certainly was that tonight, so no one really derived an advantage. The thing is this, what's hard about a game the way it was officiated tonight is that you'd like it to be established early on what's a foul and what isn't a foul, and you didn't see that. Things that were a foul in one possession weren't a foul in the next possession, and that becomes a little bit of a problem. With that said, again, even both sides, and I think that's the most important thing when you look at officiating.